The 1963 General Law Amendment Act, the 90-day detention law, a knock on the door in the dead of night. A political activist is taken from his home without warning, without charge. His family is left behind, desperate for answers, but none come. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. Held in solitary confinement, tortured and broken, he is never given a trial. This was the terrifying reality imposed by the 1963 General Law Amendment Act, also known as the 90-day detention law. The General Law Amendment Act of 1963 was one of the most oppressive tools of the apartheid regime, designed to crush political opposition and silence activists. Signed into law by Prime Minister Hendrik Verwoerd of the National Party, this law gave authorities sweeping powers to detain individuals without trial for extended periods. But what did this law entail, and how did it impact the struggle for freedom in South Africa? The 1963 General Law Amendment Act was introduced under the pretext of combating terrorism and subversion, but its real purpose was to neutralize anti-apartheid movements. It granted the state unprecedented control over political detainees and drastically curtailed civil liberties. Key provisions of the law included: authorities could arrest and detain individuals for up to 90 days without charges or trial. If necessary, detainees could be released and immediately rearrested, effectively keeping them imprisoned indefinitely. Detainees were often kept in isolation, subjected to psychological and physical torture. Families were not informed of their loved ones' whereabouts, leaving many in anguish. The consequences of this law were devastating. Thousands of activists, including members of the African National Congress, ANC, Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC, and other anti-apartheid groups, were detained. Many detainees were brutally interrogated, with some dying in custody under suspicious circumstances, including Ahmed Timol, Steve Biko, and others. The law instilled fear, forcing many activists into exile or underground resistance. Reports of abuse and indefinite detentions intensified global opposition to apartheid, fueling calls for sanctions. Despite these oppressive measures, resistance continued. Activists found ways to communicate from prison, and international campaigns brought attention to their plight. Organizations such as the United Nations and global anti-apartheid movements increased pressure on the South African government to abandon its policies of repression. The 90-day detention law remained in effect until apartheid began to crumble in the late 1980s. It was part of a broader system designed to maintain white minority rule at all costs, but ultimately, the resilience of South Africa's freedom fighters prevailed. Even today, laws that permit detention without trial remain a contentious issue worldwide. What can we learn from history to ensure human rights are upheld in all societies? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button and subscribe for more historical breakdowns.